That's a good photo.
But let's plan for short and sweet.
I went to school for anthropology, and I got to do some archaeology work, mainly in the Southwest. But I ended up doing other stuff, and so this kind of is my little way I get to get back into doing that.
It's different from what I do every day, and I can't stop thinking, as it turns out. So this gives me something else to think about, and it's kind of cathartic, I guess. Lets you truly change channels instead of, sitting in front of the TV watching, I don't know, Star Trek or something, and you're still thinking about, how to get a buck boost to work at a lower input voltage or whatever.
Something to do. I mean, it keeps you off the streets at night. But it's very interesting, and it's a grand group of people we have here, so it's worth putting in the time.
Squeeze in, act like you love each other.
Yeah, but they smell.
All right.
They smell like battle.
Ready? 3, 2,
Blue steel.
1. Yay!
I love history. I love little bits of experimental archaeology. Like for a while, I would just pick up little bits of stone that looked like that could totally be an axe. How could I use that as an axe? And just try and imagine, some Stone Age guy cutting a deer or trying to fell a tree or something or whatever with this little piece of rock. I'm just trying to put myself in his perspective and see the world the way they would. And that's exactly what these guys are doing.
It's not just a dry library, and it's not just field work, which I've done, but it's living it, which is, you just can't beat it. Our group is named for a mercenary group, Jomsborg. Joms Vikings were a concentrated group of warriors, but the majority of the population did it as a part-time profession.
They were farmers. Almost all of them. They had to be. Got to eat to live. But where did they get all their seafaring? Well, let's face it. Second son isn't going to inherit daddy's farm. So he's got to pick up a trade somewhere. So it was a trade, it was sailing, it was trading, it was marauding. But basically, they were farmers. And all of their expansion was just looking for more farmland.
We're always discovering little things, looking at the archaeological record and saying, are we doing it the way it was done? And how close can we get? We know we're never going to be perfect because we'd have to invent a time machine to do that, but we make the attempt anyways.
When you think about the really stereotypical Viking that you're talking about, was a profession. A Viking was a sea pirate, a Viking was a raider, and it was something that people took part in as a profession, but also as a part-time profession.
Look at where they originated. Okay, you got spring, summer, fall, winter. That lasts a long, long time. What are you going to do? And what did they do? They worked in jewelry. They worked in wood carving. They worked in pottery. They worked at weaving and cloth and very intricate cloth designs.
The crowd's doing their part. They're getting lined up. They're ready to go.
Yeah, I need to get. This is almost doesn't fit me.
How'd you say that? You hit me in the hip and it hurt.
What?
The really excellent draw to it is how specific they want to be about proper fighting and not play fighting. I mean, it really is experimental and experiential archaeology at the same time.
There's a lot of documentation about how we fight, or how we did fight, after the Viking period, but there's not a lot during it. So a lot of this is reverse engineering, looking at the kinds of injuries people had, looking at what the benefits and the shape of the shield, the way our shield is not bound to the arm like a lot of kite shields are. Not all kite shields, but many are. That has one advantage, that it is more secure and it's easier to control, but on the other hand, it's also a lot harder to be a source of deflection. You just watch them struggle. He's good!
Yeah, wait, there's a drop, I'm a special ed science specialist, so I work with science for special ed students. So I use it as a way a lot of times to get their interest in stuff, for, too cool to be talking to the teacher, but then I'll put a picture up on the board or something, or leave it on a wallpaper, on one of my screen wallpapers. Hey, what's that? And I explain to them what's going on, and then they think that's pretty cool.
We're each other's best training partner. If it's like we've got everybody else you have to find a time to meet up with, and we can go, hey, we got a half an hour. You want to go throw down for a little while? And sure, we can. Or there was something that was covered on a Sunday training. Let's go practice that some more. So, and yeah, the bad part of it is that we learn each other, but that also makes us really fight around those things, and
Sometimes we feel like we plateau against each other, like we're not getting any better. We've kind of got to a point where we were winning about 50-50, but at that point we were going like 50-50, and about half of them were doubles, where we both kill each other at the same time. So that's bad form.
You can still fold it over on this side. Oh yeah, there we go. There.
Let's be the slow Viking.
Single file! Single file! Single file! Just so you guys are up to date with how we fight in the Western styles. The Western style is anything that is above the knee, nothing below the elbow, no neck, no head. Left side, pressure! Pressure the left! Right side, hold! Pressure on the left! On the left, Connor, working through! Man, watch out, right! You also have come on, try it again! It won't go down! Because he's holding it up! Top of the morning to you. Line fights! Shield wall!
We can maybe do that thing after practice, and that might be a good water.
No, that was step in it.
That was funny. You look so scared.
Thank you.
after an event like this, we always end up together eating. We always do an eat together, feast together, drink together, and that's where all those things get forgiven, worked out. You know, anytime that too much ego came onto the field.
It's great. You get to travel all over the place and see all kinds of things and drink and eat things you can't even pronounce the name of, and the people are awesome. They put a lot of stuff aside. There's some people who are on differing sides of various political perspectives, both within the United States and internationally, and when we're out here on campaign or whatever, and we go to a place that's not even brought up. It's all a single purpose. We're here to learn about how to stab a person with a sword or spear or whatever. Yeah, it's great in that way.